Morning guys, Ash here for the Colours and Blues. Happy Thursday morning to you, and this is the match reaction from yesterday's game. We did it the hard way, yes again. We made it very difficult for ourselves at times, but it did finish the same scoreline as we did in the last game against West Bromwich Albion. This time obviously away from home. It finished Fleetwood Town 2, Everton 5. And, you know, first of all, we've seen the starting lineup come up. It was very strange that we see Fabian Delph was in the team, considering he hadn't got much game time at all over the last couple of months, and mostly because of obviously injuries. No Rodriguez or Allen were on the bench. Decore was a strong forward line, and John Kenny was in for Seamus Coleman. Luca Dean played left centre back again, so it was very strange seeing him in that position. And Nukundu, I'm going to get his name right one of these days. He was playing at left back, and he had a stormer once again, an absolute stormer. This is some find. I have to admit, I'd never heard of this player before we signed him. An absolute brilliant player. It looks like he's going to be, and he's only 19 years of age. The opening few minutes saw us dominating play. We weren't really giving Fleetwood any kind of sign of getting their hands on the ball, and we were only about 5 or 6 minutes into the game, and Nukundu put an absolute wallop of a cross in, and it was just literally missed by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and almost gave us a dream start to the game. And lots of strong play. And then especially it was down the right hand side, I thought Iwobi and Kenny played okay. The only thing was when Kenny was overlapping, Iwobi's passes to Kenny 9 times out of 10 and they would be short. They wouldn't be fast enough. Maybe once or twice he did put the ball too fast, and Kenny couldn't come up with them. But there still was great movement amongst them on the right hand side. 15 minutes or so into the game, we still had a lot of possession, but Fleetwood weren't giving us too much trouble. And as I said, it was just Luca Dean and Keane weren't doing too much at the back. You know, they'd had the ball a couple of times and they passed it around amongst themselves, but apart from that, they weren't really troubled. We got a free kick shortly after that, and Luca Dean the shot was put into the wall. I think because it was just kind of more to the right hand side. I think it more of suited Gylfi Sigurdsson to take it. Fabian Delph himself looked very comfortable. He looked very fit on the ball. So hopefully, from the point of view of this season, that's the injuries put behind him. I still think that if an offer comes in for him, we will lose Fabian Delph. But he did look comfy on the ball. 20 odd minutes in, Iwobi hammered a shot. I mean, he pelted one and it took a deflection and it came off the crossbar, so we were lucky to take the lead there. Then a brilliant movement of made in Brazilian magic, if you want to call it. A peach of a cross by Bernard. He floated it, and in on the right hand side in came Richarlison, and he put the header in, and we were 1-0 up. And brilliant goal. And from Bernard's point of view, I thought he played brilliantly tonight. He worked his ass off. He had a couple of curlers in the game as well that he almost came close on. I thought he had a great game playing in that number 10 role. Half an hour into the game, we were really, we were still dominating, but not getting too many chances as such. And Nukundu was still, posing a huge threat down that left hand side. Bernard found Iwobi again. He shot just wide of the post, if I remember correctly. Delph had a lovely ball to Richarlison, who had a 1-2 with Iwobi, and Iwobi kind of backheeled it, and it found Richarlison, and he slotted it home. We were 2-0 up then with 35 minutes gone, I think it was. So in between the goals then, Bernard said he curled a shot that was just wide, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin was having a really, really quiet game. He was, if I remember correctly, kind of just before the half-time whistle went, he was put through on goal. I can't remember who put him through. It was probably Iwobi, because the ball seemed to come through on the right-hand side. As he came through, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper did well to save it. Into the second half, this is where the negativity will start coming in, and the negativity was brought to us courtesy of Jordan Pickford. A horror mistake by Pickford. He was messing around with the ball, and he gave it to Fleetwood, and they got one back pretty much the start of the second half. Anthony Gordon had literally come on for Calvert-Lewin as well just before it. But thankfully, I'd say maybe a minute or 2 minutes after that, a beautiful cross by Anthony Gordon was missed by Richarlison. I'm not too sure. I think he actually got a flick on it, so he did connect with it, just not enough to put a goal wise. But thankfully, it found to Alex Iwobi, and he slotted it home. But Pickford really has got to stop these silly moves that he keeps messing about, and this is you can't turn around and say he's doing this against lower opposition side. Just lower up. He does this time in game out. Doesn't seem to think that he's susceptible to any mistakes. A guy from one of the Fleetwood attackers on 55 minutes had a tumble in the box from Luca Dean, and you're thinking, okay, here's a penalty going to be given, but going back on the replay, he went down very, very easy, so thankfully there was no penalty. Once we got that goal, Iwobi's goal, we did get control of the game back again. In fact, Iwobi a few minutes later could have easily got a second, a pull by Richarlison, and it was easier to miss the target than actually score. But he did it anyway, and Iwobi, who at this point was having a decent game, he could have had a second goal tonight. We then conceded another goal, and when the ball came into the box between Michael Keane and Luca Dean, I don't know why, between the two of them, they didn't deal with it and left I can't think of the guy's name, but left the striker right in the centre of the goal, right in front of Jordan Pickford, and he had the time and space to wave at the two guys, and he had an overhead kick, which it was right at Pickford, but whatever way Pickford put his hands up, it went into the back of the net, and it was 3-2. And it really all changed then. I think the confidence went flying out of the team then, because they couldn't believe it. Even when the cameras were panning to the bench, Carlo Ancelotti, you could see him. He was absolutely fuming with Jordan Pickford. Davies came on around the hour mark, which I found strange, because I would have felt that we would need to be pushing to get another goal. I thought the Curry would have come on instead. So you're waiting for Davies to start doing his sideway passes that we're always seeing him doing. But we with the hour mark, we were really making it more difficult for ourselves. Barnard kind of slightly went quiet then, but to his credit, he got another goal. He got another goal for Everton, which was a beautiful volley that he straight into the left hand corner of the goal. It was brilliant. Moise Keane came on for Richarlison with about 15 or 16 minutes to go, and right before the end, it was in injury time, he got the fifth goal, and it made it more comfortable than it actually looked. But I've said this before in previous other games, like the game against West Brom last Saturday, we can't keep conceding 2 goals in a game, because Premier League teams are not going to let you concede 2 goals and come back and beat them. But the most important thing is, yes, that we're in the next round at home to West Ham, so it's going to be a more difficult game. Maybe at this point, because now you're going to start playing more Premier League opposition, is Carlo Ancelotti going to change things? Is he going to keep it the same kind of more or less starting lineup? I would hope that the centre back situation is sorted, because Luca Dean does not fit in there. Thankfully enough, apart from their 2 goals, Fleetwood didn't offer too much in attack, so that himself and Michael Keane didn't have too much to do. But the one thing that did have to do to deal with that second goal, they didn't. They were together. The fella came down, got the ball, and overhead kicked it, so that would have been more of a negative thing. And as one of the guys said on one of the YouTube channels, if you had a choice between to get in a centre back, a right back, and a goalkeeper, and you could only have 2 of those things, which one would you prioritise? Would Losel, Carlo Ancelotti decided to say, okay, Jordan, look, we've had enough of these messing around. We're going to drop you for the next 4 or 5 games. Would Losel be, strong enough to hold that position down, or are we going to rely on Virginia? I think at what's Jordan Pickford now, 26, 27. He's at that age now where he should be coming into his own as a goalkeeper, and as come on, he's England's technically number one goalkeeper, but there's a couple of guys that are creeping down his neck to get that position, and if he keeps doing these silly little mistakes and messing around, he will lose that position, and he will lose his position as number one at Everton, because for all we know, is what's Carlo plotting for the end of the season with regards to the transfer window. The other thing I remember is Anthony Gordon. I was hoping that he was going to get a goal. He almost came close. He had a lovely volley just before the 90th minute as well. Gylfi Sigurdsson had a quite enough game. He didn't do too much. I would have thought he might have taken on the free kick instead of Luca Dean. But another point, just to finish off this match reaction, is Moyes Keane after he scored. He didn't really do a celebration. He didn't react. Rumours are that he's homesick and he wants to go back to Italy. His father's trying to push a move back to Italy. But for one who's got 2 goals, I know he didn't play. He got the goal in the last round as well against Salford. He's at getting the final goal in this, and it was a nicely taken goal too. He struck it well, but to see that there was no celebration, does he know something that we don't know? Is there a move on the cards, or is it just the case of that he is homesick? I was hoping to get another season out of him because he's already now scored 2 goals. The back of last season, he scored the goal in the defeat against Bournemouth. So maybe there is some player, some quality coming through if he gets more chances. It remains to see what happens in this transfer window. But the bottom line is, guys, we are through, finishing 2 goals to 5, if you want to say it that way. And we are back in the Premier League very, very soon. So till then, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Into the next round we go. Stay blue. Take care.